Hey guys, Zoe here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Siobhan Zoe. If it's your first time clicking on my page, welcome. My name is Siobhan Zoe. If you don't know who I am a content creator here in Australia, originally from the motherland, Zimbabwe. 263. The only place to be. Yo. Please do not talk to me in Shona because my Shona is atrocious. But, we move. Asangen, we move. Zoe, that did not make sense. Let me start again. Hey guys, Zoe here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Siobhan Zoe. If it's your first time clicking on my page, welcome to my channel. I'm a content creator here in Australia, and today I was asked this video by one of my friends. I want to say Elda asked for this video. And I'm a little bit nervous doing it because the first thing I thought of when I heard the question was, don't go to that church, don't go to that man. But then I said, that's petty. We are bigger than that. We're growing up, we're maturing. So let's be serious for 1 minute. So instead, I came up with a few things that I think I wanted to share with you guys, and I hope it helps and inspires you guys as well in your journey. So if you want to see more of my face on your YouTube, please make sure you subscribe. Follow me on my social media at Siobhan Zoe on most things, or the Siobhan Zoe on other things, because some girl has my name. I'm coming for you. And I know where she is too. She lives in Europe, and I wish her mother did not name her Siobhan Zoe, but she did. It's okay. We all can't be just unique like that. Okay? On other pages, it's Home with Siobhan on TikTok and Instagram. So follow me, make sure you do that, and let's keep on watching. You cannot break generational curses while seeking validation and approval from the generation that was cursed. Like, I love my mom and dad, praise God for their lives, but I never sought validation from them. I never sought every step, which I probably could have sought more advice. I would not be in this predicament that I am currently getting out of. But my parents never tried to enforce their own life onto mine. They never tried to live vicariously through me. I think a lot of times people try to break free from the very confines and imprisonment of a generation while still running back to that generation. Am I doing good? Am I doing great? That generation, especially our parents' generation, they went through certain things that we may not go through, but we can't keep running to them when they had that certain traditions, certain cultural things, certain mindset that we no longer have and the generation after us does not have. So I don't seek validation from the generation that was cursed. I'm sorry. I'm breaking free from a lot of their mindsets. I will tell, my parents are very, I know my mom's passed away, but my dad is very open and my mom was very open to just hearing me out. And I am the last one, so I used to break a lot of societal norms. Okay? I will tell you what I think, because I'm exactly like the combination of both of them. So they knew when I would say what I think, it's because I think what I think. I'm exactly like them. So I would say I don't agree with that. Past generations and previous generations, you just agreed with whatever your parents said. Marry that person. Do this job. Do this degree. No. I want to be able to break free from that. Not in a disrespectful way, because your parents are looking out for you. But I also want to play my own path. And that might mean not following their path, because their path was limited to the society and the environment they grew up in. We live in a different world, a different time. We have access to a lot more information. I want to make an informed decision that benefits my life and my choices, because at the end of the day, I'm going to live this life, not them. Because you're going to be big mad and you're going to take it out on your kids and your daughter-in-law and your grandchildren and all that. Don't do that. Don't seek validation from them and approval. You just have to live your life and seek advice, yes, and take what you can from them. But at the end of the day, younger self, do you. One of my favorite quotes is, heal loudly because we almost lost you in silence. If I could tell my younger self, I would say, speak up, baby girl, because I let a lot of things slide that I shouldn't have let slide. I let a lot of things go under the rug because I don't ever want to tell my side of the story. I tend to be a person who's quite passive. I'm trying to change that, because younger me, for sake of peace, would just never address certain things. I would just let things go so I don't ruffle any feathers. But that meant that certain expectations that I have in life and certain wants and desires that I have, I compromised on, and then I was angry and mad. Not just in relationships, in friendships. And younger me, I want to tell you, baby girl, your voice matters. Your voice is valuable. People are paying you to listen to your voice. If you knew years later this voice would make money, we would have used it more. But I just think younger me was scared to talk about when I was struggling, was scared to talk about when things made me upset. I went through a lot of mental health issues when I was younger, but I didn't know what they were called. Younger me should have spoken up more. Given that, especially because my mom had studied psychology, I feel like my mom would have been more understanding. But I just kept it as like you just being dramatic and it's hormones. But like I was probably depressed from the time I was 15 and having ideations from the time I was 15. But I didn't know what they were called. So younger me, I wish I could tell you, baby girl, talk. Because your voice matters, because we almost lost you a few times. People do not know how many times I've almost taken my life, and I've done it in silence because I didn't feel like my voice was valuable. But younger me, baby girl, there's help out there, there's therapists, there's friends that care about you. Not the friends that you may think, but there's friends that care about you. Because some friends just want to gossip. But there are friends that genuinely want to be there for you. So trust that when you speak and you speak your truth, there are people that want to listen. This is something I learned from my therapist after years of being a doormat for so many people. Do not set boundaries unless you're willing to enforce a consequence. I am one of those people since I was younger where I just let things go. I'm not forgiving though. I had to learn that too. But I let things go for the sake of peace a lot of times when there's something I'm really passionate about. I don't let disrespect go. That's one thing. But I let things go and I'm like, oh, maybe they just were going through a lot. Sometimes people are just mean, girl. And that's okay too. Sometimes people are just not nice people. And that's okay too. But I've learned to just set boundaries and consequences. If you break the boundary, consequence, you're out. Struggle one. I don't wait for someone to continually disrespect me. I don't wait for someone to continually show me who they are. Once you show me one time, I may try to forgive certain things, but there are some things in the I'll never forgive. I don't let it slide. I'm like, this is too big a red flag for me to let slide in friendships, in relationships, even in family. I have cut family off in 2020, 2022, and 2025. I have blocked cousins. You have one chance to disrespect me now. I don't wait. I don't wait for a half-assed apology. I don't wait for someone to continue. Because one thing I've learned as an adult, as a mature woman, is that when you let someone disrespect your boundary once, it becomes a cycle. So they know the button that they can push and continually extend that boundary. They keep pushing you back until you realize you have just let so much slide. So I no longer do it. I don't have a boundary that is without a consequence, because a boundary without a consequence is a suggestion. Like, I'm just asking you, please, nicely, if you want to. But I want to say that if you do this, then I will do this. That's how a boundary starts. If you disrespect my family, I will cut you off. If you call me out my name, I will never speak to you again. I've set boundaries with consequences. My therapist was like, baby girl, you let too many things slide. And I said, not anymore. Your feelings are valid, your behavior is not. There's no wrong way to feel. There is a wrong way to behave. So younger me, I wish I would have told her that you feel anger towards a situation. You are hurt by a situation. You're manifesting that in angry behavior because that's familiar to you. Doesn't mean that that behavior is appropriate or will be received well. So I have learned to communicate my feelings in a very calm way. Now, don't get it twisted. There are times where you will see that I'm my father's daughter and my mother's twin, and I can't help that. It takes a lot to get me angry, but when you do, oh, don't provoke me to anger. Younger me, I wish I could tell you that you could be mad without being mean. You can be angry without being hurtful. So I grew up in an environment where I remember sometimes people in my family, when they want to, they'll hit at the jugular. My whole entire extended family, they'll come for the jugular. And I didn't want to, I had to unlearn that in a relationship. I had to unlearn that in friendships. It took a while, but I wish younger me would know that your feelings are valid, baby girl. You may be hurt, you may be upset, you may be mad, but you have to learn to communicate that in a better, calmer way so that your feelings can be accepted and understood and validated. Because my feelings are valid, but they do not reflect the truth of a situation. That's what someone told me, and I've stuck with that yes, your feelings are valid, but they do not reflect the truth of the situation. I may feel angry that you didn't empty the garbage. Do I need to tell you that you are the worst person on earth and I hope you die? I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. That's unnecessary. I can just tell you I'm hurt that you didn't empty the garbage. Full stop. And once you hear it, you either receive it or whatever, but I've said it and I let it go. I wish I could tell younger me that, because it's such a waste of energy to be angry. It's such a waste of energy to allow the world to paint you as an angry person when all you've been is hurt for a really long time. You just manifested that in anger. I wish I could tell younger me that people may love the unhealed version of you because they benefit from your brokenness. At my lowest point in my life, I had the most friends because I was a people pleaser. I sought external validation. I had no boundaries. I had low self-esteem, especially going through a toxic, abusive relationship. I came out of that and I was at the lowest, and then all these friends. And I said, I'm drowning and no one can see I'm drowning. That's when I realized that people benefit from your brokenness, because when you are a people pleaser, you do go above and beyond. And I noticed when I started to park my benefits, I started to lose friends. When I stopped paying for everything, for everyone, I started to lose friends. When I started struggling in my walk with God and I really needed genuine Christian friends around me, my Christian friends all turned their back and went to my ex. And I was like, oh, this is what it feels like to hit the bottom, baby girl, again. So I've learned so much about myself in this way that I no longer people please. I no longer seek external validation. The validation I seek is from God. And I know that God has a purpose and plan for me. And I know that in my heart of hearts, I know where I need to be and how to get there. God is continually guiding me. Do I always make mistakes? Often. But I know that it doesn't matter what people think of me because they don't pay my bills. Ain't nobody helping me when I was at my lowest. When I was at my lowest walk with God, like literally the bottom barrel, when I was struggling to even get out of bed, when I was depressed, I lost all my friends. And thank God that God has brought a genuine Christian friend in my life, because I tell you, when I tell you this man has sat with me and I have told him, we keep wanting more souls, but the souls in the house are broken. But why does no one notice that? And we had this deep conversation, and I realized you don't need a lot of friends. You just need one group of good friends, even if it's just one person. And I found that in my friends, they really push me and encourage me to do better and be better. But the work you do on yourself will also work on filtering that group of friends, that group of people who are just leeches onto the benefits of your brokenness. I had to just surround myself with people that just want to see me for me and see me win for me. Oh my God, I went through some interesting people, but my word, there's only one friend I regret losing, and that was only purely because of my actions. But the friends I have now, I'm like, yo, like, I've got a friend who's into like saving money, and we talk about saving money and my goals. I've got a Christian friend who we just talk about God, and every call he just sits there and prays for me. I've got friends that just, we fun, we have a good time, but we have mental health issues. We talk about that. I've got friends who cry to me, and it's, like it's such a beautiful thing to find these types of friends. I don't know where I would be without them, but just allowing yourself to not let people bank on you being broken is a life lesson I wish younger me would have learned early. It would save me a lot of money and a lot of pain and a lot of loneliness, I'll tell you that. Between the ages of 22 and 26, I wish younger me would have known that that God's favor is on your life when people view you as competition when you are at your lowest point. I lost my mother. People were competing with me. I lost my whole entire relationship. It was doing crunkle for years. People were competing with me. I went through depression. People were competing with me. Even the person I was in a relationship with competing with me. I said, hey, I'm literally at my lowest and people were still seeing me as competition. That's when I knew that you have God's favor on your life. It's not about outfits. People were like, oh, you think that people want to copy your outfits. I see people copy my outfits. I don't have a problem with that because that's what a content creation influencer type of lifestyle is, right? But I would see people literally be coveting my life. And I'm like, I am at my lowest. I want to take my life. And people would be competing. I was like, oh, God's favor makes people mad. God's favor is not fair. Let me tell you that. God is fair, but God's favor is not fair. When he lifts you, he lifts you. And that might mean that some people are mad at that, but their lifting is coming. They just don't know it. They're too busy focused on your life. And I realized that at my lowest, I was still seen as competition. Younger me would have been like, girl, Huh? Your heart may forgive, but your body may never forget how someone made you feel. I learned a lot in therapy that I carry a lot of my trauma in my body, and I would physically feel it when someone triggers me the way my ex used to trigger me. So I've had to learn that your body carries like trauma points, and taking those trauma points to God. I've tried therapy, I've tried physical massages, deep, what do you call it? The deep one where they really, hey, it didn't work. Nothing works because I feel like I just carried so much in my body, and I had to bring that to God and say, Lord, I don't need healing only in my heart. I need healing in my body, because your body carries these trauma points. And I feel like I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist. I just genuinely believe this about myself, that there are certain things that, like, you see it with people who have unfortunately gone through domestic violence, where someone may raise their hand and they'll flinch. It's like your body just reacts to things that are an environment that you're familiar with that cause you trauma or hurt. And so I wish I could tell younger me that what you're experiencing when you clench up or you have a loss of security and you're triggered is normal. That you can go to therapy, you can go to God. You don't have to be afraid and not leave your house after 5 p.m. for years. I wish I could tell younger me. It would have saved me. You have to be an advocate for your own healing. And I feel like younger me didn't know that I needed healing. I just thought that I was always told by my former church that you're just so angry. But I wasn't angry. I was hurt. And yes, sometimes it manifested in angry behavior, but you never saw it, because I would never show people the lowest parts of my life. Again, I was trying so hard to be perfect, but I was blamed for an environment that I didn't put myself in. I was a victim of someone else's abusive, narcissistic behavior. And then I'm crying out for help and no one can see that I need help. I had to advocate for my healing. I had to go to therapy. I had to leave that situation. I had to make sure that I put myself first and heal and allow God to heal me. That's the best thing you can do for yourself, younger me. I hope I don't mispronounce her name, but Chimamanda Ngozi said, you should take it as a compliment when certain people don't like you. You know that someone is big mad and bitter because all the lies they told about you didn't stop what God is doing in your life. Do you know that there are people who are just raging? I literally get told about people talking about me from my former church or my former, friendship group. I'm like, guys, it's been years. I don't talk about nobody. I literally mind my business and pay my bills. But I've noticed that some people, they just cannot stop gossiping about you because they cannot understand how God keeps lifting you when you've left certain environments, you've left your former church, you've left certain relationships. You should be crying and depressed, but you're rising. It must make them big mad. And to see how God lifts you at your lowest, oh, it must make them big mad. But even when I was in my former church, I used to say that God is the lifter of my head. That is the revelation that I have of God personally, that God is the lifter of my head. He's not the lifter of my head when I was associated with my former church. He's the lifter of my head, period. Because at my lowest, God lifts me. He just raises my head and says, baby girl, you know who you are. You know who I've made you. And people get mad at that because their relationship with God is in proximity to another man, their pastor or their husband or their friends. I learned about God for myself at my lowest. When I was crying out to God in the hospital room with my mom, there was no church, there was no title, there was no anointing that I needed from anyone else. I just needed God. It was just me and him in that room, talking to him about my mom and saying, God, just please, just give her a few more hours. Granted, I was granted 2 hours, but I learned that people really just don't like you. And that is very evident that God is with you, because some people, it's not that you're mean or you're evil. It's just the fact that God's favor and grace is upon your life and God keeps lifting you. And they're mad and bitter because they keep lying. They keep creating all this. What did Kendrick say? It was God's plan to show y'all the liar. I don't have to talk too much. God will expose what he needs to expose in due time. And not in a vengeful way, not in a mad way, but everyone's truth will come out eventually. For me, I live my life out. And I've never told my story for a reason, because I don't see the point of bashing people that have bashed me continually years later. Because at the end of the day, it's God's plan to show y'all the light. People don't realize how hard you ride for them until you park. Younger me, stop going above and beyond for people that don't care. They wouldn't go anywhere for you. Don't do it. Stop it. I remember paying for so many things for my friendship group. I remember going above and beyond. I could literally fund people's entire closets because I love gift giving. Until I realized, yeah, but people won't even buy you a glass of water when you are on fire. Stop going above and beyond for people, because once I got tired for paying for every dinner, for buying, people's entire, like, I'm saying closet, and I mean closet. I mean the whole closet. Sponsored by one person. Because I love gift giving. That's my nature. But I realized people were taking advantage of it because they knew, oh, she gonna pay for it. You guys, you. And then I was like, oh, let me park it. Let me stop. And then I started losing friends in droves, bro. I literally started, why did I say bro? Sorry. I'm so used to talking to you guys like you're my friends. But I just started losing friends. I started losing relationships. And I was like, oh, that's what it means to be just used. Like a doormat. And I was like, no, not anymore. I really want to be around people that genuinely care about me. And we are investing in each other. It's not just a one-way street. And I feel like for a long time, I was just the person that did everything for everyone. And when I needed people, they were nowhere to be found. And that is okay, because you have to meet people at their capacity. Doesn't mean that someone will do for you just because you can do it. They can do it too. Doesn't mean that. Some people don't have the capacity, and that's okay. But don't go above and beyond when people they ain't even gonna spit on you when you're on fire. Younger me, I may always have capacity to pay a bill or to pay for some things or to do certain things. Doesn't mean I always should. And I realized that being in a relationship where I don't have to do everything, and someone will literally be like, oh, I got you. And I'm like, oh, right now? Or like forever? And they're like, always. I'm like, so I don't have to pay for everything. Oh. Okay, I can take care of everything else though. Cool. Wow. It's so unusual. I've been introduced to some amazing people who have taught me life lessons. So I wish younger me would have known, you don't have to do everything, baby girl. You're not everyone's superhero. Jesus is doing an amazing job in people's lives. You do not need to be the Holy Spirit in anyone's life. You are not their helper. Stand by, advocate. You're just you. You're only one person. It's exhausting. The last bit of advice I would love to tell myself is from Pastor Jerry Flowers. And he said, when you break up with the person and not the pattern, eventually you'll end up entertaining the same person with a different name. And sometimes he said what we call or we just clicked is really they just fit. They fit perfectly in a pattern that existed before their arrival. Perhaps you're not under attack. Perhaps you're under a pattern. Oh my gosh. When he put that, and that was the caption at the bottom, I said, I feel attacked. I mean, that is summarizing literally everything I wish I could have told my younger person, that you think you have a type, but you're just dating a pattern. And when I broke the pattern, I was like, oh, so there are good guys out here that don't abuse their girlfriends and wives and don't lie and cheat and scam and finesse and hide. Oh, cool. Really? I was shocked. I couldn't believe it, so I just broke the pattern. Similar to number one, I broke the pattern and I was like, I don't want to deal with this anymore, and I'm not dating the same person with a different font. I want a completely different person, because what I want to give to this one man is not what I'm going to give to the man that doesn't deserve it. Like the person that I was with that was abusive and really sadistic, I don't want to invest in that anymore. I decided I was going to break the pattern. And I found that God is just bringing the most beautiful people that are opening my eyes to, like, wow, there are genuinely great guys out there. I don't want all of them. I just want one. Okay? I just want one. One. And it's beautiful. Pastor J Flowers summed it up. You'll eventually end up entertaining the same person with a different name. I don't want that for my life and for my ministry. You can keep that. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I want someone who's just like genuinely my person, and like genuinely kind, genuinely a good person, that we can do life together. We can go to church together, have babies and travel the world and do all that fun stuff. Why do I need to starve to get there? And it's so funny, guys, but honestly, breaking the pattern, it's not about your type. Sometimes your type is a pattern. Receive it. Let it sink in there. And when you break that pattern, what a beautiful life that is. Oh my goodness, I can't even explain to you. It's freeing. That's the first thing. It's so freeing. So I really, really encourage you guys to look up Pastor Jerry Flowers. I have been a big fan for years, and I feel like he just drops so many nuggets that are so relevant to my life. And I'm like, I get it, God. I hear you. So that's the advice that I would give younger me. I definitely wish younger me could have learned to be gentle on herself when she made mistakes, and to be gentle on herself when things didn't go her way. Because I feel like younger me just went through so much so quickly and didn't heal from a lot of things that I wish she could have. I wish younger me could have had someone hold her hand and just hug her a few more times and say it's gonna be okay, because it really is, baby girl. You've made it, you overcome so much, and I'm so proud of you. And a letter to my younger self would have been, it gets better. It doesn't seem like it at the time, but it gets better. And I am in the better. I'm waiting for the best of God that God has for me, okay? It's coming. My testimony is going to be great. I keep telling people that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Before I start crying, because I'm not going to cry in this video, no. We are going to end this right now, okay? I hope you guys have a blessed week. I will see you in another video. Bye, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and comment.